Where are we?
Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're learning today Menachos Daf Kuf Tes and Daf Kuf Yud Be'ez Hashem. And we have a very Yishmaka Daf in front of us to end the Masechta. So it's very exciting. Let's start with the Mishnah in Daf Kuf Tes Amud Aleph. Harei alai oilo yakriveno b'mikdosh. Someone says, I have to bring an oilo. So where should he bring the oilo to? Beis HaMikdash. If he brought the oilo in Beis Chonya, it's not Yotzei. Now you would ask, what's Beis Chonya? And where is Beis Chonya? So we're going to see about it on with Beis. Beis Chonya is a place where they did a Beis HaMikdash outside of Yerushalayim. And obviously it's not a real Beis HaMikdash. We'll see a discussion if it was a Dezor or not. But he's not Yotzei, it's not there. The Chiddush is for the next one. He said, I want to give oil, but my condition is, I want to give it in Beis Choynoi. The din is, Yekrivenu b'mikdash. V'hi mikir Beis Choynoi yotza. If Beis Choynoi use Yetzi, he did his nether. You will see, he will be chayav on Shchut Yichutz. But his nether is Yetzi. Shimon means oil, that's not oil. It doesn't even start. Hareini, Nozir.
He's fulfilled his nether.
His nether. No, Rabbanon. Now, Shimon said there's no nether at all. If I said oil Beis Choynoi, there's nothing here. We'll see more about it when we get to the Gemara. Hareini Nazir, so it's going to be I'm a Nazir. Yigaleach b'mikdash. He has to shave in Beis HaMikdash. Im Yigaleach Beis Choynoi lo yatsa. Pashut. Hareini Nazir shigaleach Beis Choynoi. That's a condition. I'm going to be a Nazir only if I'm able to shave Beis Choynoi. Yigaleach b'mikdash. Im Yigaleach Beis Choynoi yatsa. He fulfilled his nether. Shimon means it's not a Nazir at all.
Besides the Gricha, what are the Kabbalas?
What?
What about the Kabbalas?
The Karbanas, the Choy Kam, and the Karbanas. So we'll see. Well, let's see in the Gemara, what's the definition of this, of the Nazir?
Actually, how is it possible to have one, basically one, and the amount of people who are in Karbanos, how is it possible? Everybody got to get this?
They manage, Yeshrim Meruchim, it says. Even when everybody came together. So what do you mean he's Yotzei? He killed the animal. If he started bringing an oil, and he shot to the Beis Choynoi, that's not a carbon. That's just killing an animal. I'm naturally is chayev b'acharisu. It's as if he's saying, I'm an oilo, but I'm not responsible for it. If I say an oilo, the conditions I can bring it to Beis Choynoi, so what am I saying? I'm giving an oilo, but leave me alone. No responsibility. Omer lei Ravo, Elameato, say for the next part of the Mishnah. Tani already knows shigaleach Beis Choynoi yigaleach b'mikdash. V'yigaleach Beis Choynoi yotzo. Hachinami nasa koyim already knows about shleischai b'achiyus karbonoiso. They want to tell me he's a Nazir, but he's not responsible for the karbonis. Nazir kama d'loi ma'isi karbonoit so v'lo miskasher. If you don't bring karbonis, you can't stop being a Nazir. Hello, Maravo, a little different. Odom zeh l'doyer in his coffin. He gave a donation. Omay isagi Beis Choynoi techano. Tfei l'matzino lead story. He said like this, I'm giving a gift. Beis Choynoi is good enough? Great. Not, forget about it. No gift. Similarly, Nazir. Nami, he wants to become a Nazir, not to drink wine, he wants to be Porush. Omar, isagi Beis Choynoi techano. If it works, Beis Choynoi, I'm doing it. Tfei l'matzino lead story, I'm not doing more than that. So according to Ravo, he's basically conditioning it like this. He says, I don't know. They tell him, you can't do it. So he says, I'm willing to do it as long as it works in my terms. It doesn't work that way, forget about it. I'm nothing. Rav Nuna says, no. He is giving an oilo, but he's saying, I'm not responsible for the carbon. So you shecht it. It's like as if it was lost. Says the Gemara, what does Rav Nuna do with Nazir? Nazir, like you said, that what he said, that I'm doing it as a, if it works, it works. But oil is, in other words, it's two different cases. The case of oil is saying I'm giving an oil. It is oil, but I'm not responsible for it. So if it's gone, if I sheft it, I don't have to give something else. He's going to be chayav shchut yichutz, but he's not responsible for it. But by Nazir is different. Rabbi Yechezkel agrees with that. said, I will do it Beis Choynoi, but he did somewhere else in Eretz Yisrael, Yotzo. For Onush Kares, it's Chayav Kares, Shchudi Chutz. It means it is an oila. But he doesn't have to give, he has no obligation. He wants to do the midbar. Rashi says, why the midbar? Because he thinks there's still Kedusha in the midbar, because I'm so in the midbar. Because the main thing is, I don't want to bring the Beis Hamikdash. For Onush Kares, Chayav Kares on it. So what comes out over here? So let's summarize. So it comes in here, there's three different shittas here in the Mishnah, Tanakama, and I mean the two shittas in the Mishnah, two ways to learn Tanakama. The Rav Nuna learns, when a person says, I'm giving an oila to bring a Beis Choynoi, he's meaning a full-fledged oila. Sorry? But he says, I'm not responsible for it. What does it mean not responsible? If something goes bad with the korban, I don't have to give any other oila. So this is oila. Now, whenever he takes this oila, shechtzer and Beis Choynoi, so his responsibility is over, because a neder that he said was only that, not, it's based on nedava, not a neder. But he did shchudi chutz. He shechted oila outside. So he's chayav kares. That's how I'm doing. Rava learned, no. When I'm saying that I'm giving a Beis Choynoi, I'm basically saying, I don't know the din. If I could do Beis Choynoi, so this is oila. If I'm not, I can't do Beis Choynoi, it's not oila. It's nothing. So if he shechted the Beis Choynoi, it's not shechted oila outside. It's shechted a regular animal. Because he conditioned the animal to be oila only if it works. If it doesn't work, it's not oila. Now, come the Achronim, the oila shloim, I don't want to explain it. What does Reb Shimon in the Mishnah? Reb Shimon said it's nothing. It's not oila, it's not a nozer. So what's the difference between Shimon and Rava? He says, here's the difference. According to Rava, he says, I want to be able to do it in Beis Choynoi, and if not, I'm not giving condition. But he's still giving himself an option to bring the Beis Hamikdash. I mean, he's making an animal. It's like this. If I'm able to do it my way, I want to do it my way, so then this is an oila. If it's not my way, the highway, meaning it's not oila. Now here he has an option. He can bring it to Beis Choynoi as he originally intended, or he can bring it to Beis Hamikdash. It's gonna be totally v'oimed if he does it correctly or not. According to Shimon, it's nothing. Shimon in the Mishnah says no. When you said oila Beis Choynoi, you said nothing. It's like having an animal that's not oil at all. So these are the three shittas. According to Amnuno, it is oil. According to, regardless oil. According to Rava, it depends. If he does it correct or not. According to Shimon, it's not oil. That's the three shittas.
Be aware that if it's going his way in Beis Choynoi, it's chayav kares?
No, according to Rava, no. And it could be he doesn't know that he according to Amnuno. But according to Rava, it's not chayav kares. So the Mishnah continues down the Mishnah. We mentioned Beis Choynoi, so we're going ahead to discuss Beis Choynoi again. Hakoyanim sheshimushu Beis Choynoi lo yishamshu b'mikdosh shibushalayim. Koyanim that served in Beis Choynoi, they're disqualified from serving in Beis Hamikdash. They ain't tzurich learn l'dovar hacha. Of course, if they served of a desire, they should not serve Beis Hamikdash. Sheyamarich le'alu kohanei abomos el mizbach Hashem Yerushalayim. They should not go to the mizbech. They'll eat the matzahs of the brothers. They divide, they can eat the kachim, but they don't do akol. Meaning, if he shecht over the zara, only shecht, he didn't do any other avodah. So now if he does a good korban afterwards, it is okay. It is a reach nechoyach. Even though he shecht over the zara, not the same animal, different animal. Meaning he did shchita for the zara, and now he does tshuva. He did tshuva. Come back. Can he worship? Can he work? Can he do sheirus? Can he serve in Beis Hamikdash? The answer is yes. One second. Let's see. They served in front of the zara. And that caused Am Yisrael to be in despair and avoid. They'll carry the sin. Then they can work at Beis Hamikdash. Says the Gemara, Yovad Shirus in Shchita Lav Shirus Hu. That's the difference. If they served him in Avodah Zarah, meaning did Zrika, Akrava, they did Kabbalah, then they can't serve Beis Hamikdash. But Shechita is not a Shirus, so Shechita only Shechti, only slaughtering, if he did it for Avodah Zarah, he could serve Beis Hamikdash. Say more Itmar. What? Shechita of the Zarah is not considered to be a Shirus, and only by Shirus it says, I can't say. Okay, do you want to move? What? Oh, so Shaila is if he did no. So we talk about here the.
There's an avoider. It's an avoider.
Yeah, there's two. He did. Rashi says. Rashi said. No, right? If he has Eidim Vastra, you're right. But he has. We talk. He did tshuva, and he's not Chayil Misa in this case. He did tshuva. Shaila is.
If you do something, do tshuva, you're still Chayil Misa.
If you have Eidim Vastra,
yeah.
You don't have Eidim Vastra. Obviously, you don't have Eidim Vastra. And therefore,
he did.
He himself says, let's say, it's Moedin. Shaila is a pidin. Does he have allowed to do it or not?
I mean, the Gemara, Rashi says it's Mishal. Talking about that he did tshuva.
Yeah.
That's the case.
See, but if it's Chayim Misa, it's Chayim Misa. It's not Chayim Misa because Eidim were not there, it was on a straw, whatever the case is. Says the Gemara, Itmar.
I mean, you could do tshuva from this Karas.
Yeah, but not for Misa, nice to be so. Yeah.
But I'm saying, maybe if there's no Eidim, it's just the.
Yeah, so let's say either no Eidim or there's Eidim, there's no straw, or whatever other reason it is. Itmar Shogag Bezriko. He did a Zriko B'Shoigig. He did a Zriko's Avodah, but he did a B'Shoigig. It was a mistake. He didn't do it amazing. He can still do Avodah. Why? He might say he did a Shirus. How do I know that they even B'Shoigig? It's not the pasuk we talked about before. And it says Michshol Avoy. My love, Oy Michshol, Oy Oven. The Michshol Oven. What's a Michshol Oven? Well, Michshol Shoygig, the Oven makes it. So it's either or. For Nachron, I know, Michshol the Oven. It was a trap of a mason. How do I know that B'Shoygig is okay? So it says the Kohen will do kapara for the sinner, but Milamit Shakorim Miskabe al the Atzmoy. He says, I'll never shageges, the learn from here, Bechota B'Shgoga means for himself, if he did a Shgoga. And that pasuk is talking about the Zohar. So you see, if he did B'Shgoga, is okay. B'mai. Even B'Shchito, if you talk about Shchita itself, my Shgoga, if you amazing Nami, we said before it's not a Shirus. Elalab is Riko. So you see, Riko B'Shgoga is okay. V'Hashem Zomach Aloyim B'Shchito, Uv'mezid, Loinaso, Mishares, so it's Kachavim. In other words, he argues. He holds, now like we said before, that Shchito is not a Shirus. And he says, yeah, Shechita is also a Shirus. If a person did Shechita, b'mezid, he will be nifsa to do avodah. Fozlu ta'amar, they go to Shechita, so the Itmar, he's zid b'Shechita, meaning he did Shechita with the Zohar b'mezid. Because it's not a Shirus. One second. The Shirus Omar ain't Kabbalah Nechoyach. It's not Nechoyach because the Maisa he did a Shirus. We're not going to Kabbalah Nechoyach do have a Shirus. Shirus Omar Kabbalah Nechoyach because the Kudesum base. Naso Mishar's Kachov Maisi is servant of the Zohar. He's not a Shirus beside Avodah, but he is considered to be a servant of the Zohar, and it's a problem. Yeah.
No, it says in the case of the Zohar, it says it did a B'Shoigig.
Yeah.
It's unlike Shlita. Shlita said we did it, he did amazing, and he did.
That's what the Gemara is talking about. No, that's what we're saying. What happens when you go B'Shoigig is a machlokes. Now, what about that? And then we have a discussion regarding Shchita b'mezid. Omar Nachami no Aminilo the Tanyo Koyin Shovad Avodas Kachavim V'Shov. He did with the Zohar, he did Shuvah. Korbanoi Reach Nechoyach. Korban works. B'mai, what are we talking about? He didn't B'Shoigeg, Mai V'Shov. Shabbat Imidu. He did Shuvah. He never did something wrong. He did something wrong, but Shav means he changes his ways. He just made a mistake. Elav Shita B'Mezid. He B'Zriko. If he did Zriko, Kishom Mai Ave Ovad Lo Shirus. But does it make a difference if he did it? He did Shirus. So you see over here that what? The Shchita b'mezid is okay. Shav means not he did tshuva after. He did tshuva before. Meaning he was already in a matzav of tshuva, of doing the right thing. And whatever he did was b'shoigig. So korban erech nechoyach. Timnav ain't korban erech nechoyach. Okay. So this, how do you explain the Bryce according to bullshitters? Hishtachavoy kachovim. What's it in there? I'm not going to korban erech nechoyach. Hishtachavoy. Because it's Rav Shizoma ain't korban erech nechoyach. Similar machlekes hoida is kachavim. He was a moeded of a desire. He said, in other words, he said the hoida shvurt of a desire. Nachloma kavanah nechayach. Shleishis oma ain't kavanah nechayach. Vetzrichu. What's the machlekes? The Yeshua kamaisa regarding shchito bei kol sheis mishudav l'shirus. Kamaisa he did serve the desire. Aval shchito. Sorry. When he did the b'sheikik. Aval shchito lo l'shirus. That shirus ema moeded lev nachman. The Yeshua shchito mishudav le'avoida. Kamaisa shchito is avoida. Aval ishtachah v'dolevet le'avoida, but if he bows down, it's not avoida. Imaloit tzricha. If Yeshua ishtachah mishudav le'maisa, le'maisa he's doing something. Aval hoida di b'dvur be'alma imaloit tzricha. I tell you all the cases, they both are always arguing. If I did something which is not a full shirus, if it isn't considered to be a problem to be of a coin in basically the shurnat. Says the woman took the mother. So now we're going to the story. So the Mishnah told us that if they did b'schonyoi, he cannot serve Mr. Mikdash, and Kol Sheken if he did by Mr. Mikdash. Says the Gemara, but Kol Sheken did have a desire. Mashma the B'schoin is not have a desire. So when we call me Tzorch Loy Madova Achem, Michal the B'schoin and Lado is Kachavim. Mashma is not have a desire. Says the Gemara, Tanyo Kemando Amar B'schoin Lado is Kachavim. Or Tanyo, really the Gilza should be Tanat. In our Mishnah goes like the Mandamar that holds B'schoin is not have a desire. The Gemara now is going to bring two shittas regarding what is Beis Choyna. It's two stories. The stories are very similar to each other, but not exact. And they have the little changes. The mixed difference is Beis Choyna with desire or not. Says the Gemara, the Tanya. So the Gemara starts with a piece that we saw in Masechet Yuma. Oysa Shana Shemeis Shimon HaTzadik Omer Lahem Shana Zu Humeis. Shimon HaTzadik, the Kohen Gadol, he comes and he says, Rabbi Yisrael, I'm going to die this year. Omer Lo Minayit HaYodeh, to how do you know? Omer Kol Yom Kippurim Nizdamin Li Zoken Echod Lavush Levonim V'Nisatef Levonim. Every year I have a dumus of an old man coming with dressed in white and covered in white. He goes in with me, he comes out with me. This year came a zoken, covered in black. He came in and come out. So that was a sim, I'm not going to make it. So he says over here, brings the Yerushalmi. What do you mean, who came in with him? Nobody's supposed to go in with the Kohen Gadol, including Malachim. Says that's the mus of the Shechina. It's the Shechina. After the regular, meaning Pasha Sukkis, for 7 days, he was sick, the mace. Since Shimon HaTzadik died, they don't say Shem Mefoyrash anymore, even Beis HaMikdash. That's what the story was. Also, now when he died, he says, we know who's going to replace me? Chonyer. Shimi was 2 years and a half older, so he was a little jealous, as happens many times in Yerusha Rabbanos. By the way, I saw a beautiful story today, the Chazon Ish. There was someone who was a shidduch, and suddenly found out that the girl is 2 years older than the boy. So they went to Chazon Ish to say, what should we do? He says 2 years is not considered to be older. How do we know that? From this Gemara. The Gemara says that Shimi was 2.5 years older than Chonya. Why you have to tell me it's 2.5? It's 2 years is not older. 2.5 is already old. That's what he wants to say. Okay. So he says, so what happened? So he says, Omer Loi, what is Omer Loi? So Shimi, the older kid, he decides, I'm going to trick Chonya. My father wants Chonya to be the one. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want to teach you how to do the avodah b'samikdash. He'll be shoy b'unkeli. Unkeli is a leather clothing. V'choger b'tziltzul. Put him in a belt, meaning not big dikiuna. He made it some mizbeach. He put it next to his back. So he's there dressed with called regular clothes, and he tells his brothers the Kohanim, look what he did. This person give a nether to his wife. The day that I'm starting kahuna, he told his wife, I love you so much. When I'm going to start working with Mikdash, I'm going to wear your clothing and your belt. So that's what Shimi tells the brothers of Kohanim that Choni is doing. Choni doesn't know better. Seemingly, the Rishonim bother why Choni did not know what he was supposed to do. But Choni did not know. So Shimi, his brother tells him, well, let me tell you, what you're supposed to do? You have to wear these clothing. He wears it. And then he goes tell everybody he's wearing it because he promised his wife to wear these clothing. So the Kohanim say that he's mizalz on the Kuno. They came to kill Chayner. He ran away. They ran after him. He goes to Alexandria Mitzrayim. He built a mizbeach. He does worship for the Zorah. If this one, Shimi was never supposed to be a Kohen. He's still so jealous of his brother. Someone who was already there, you can't remove him because he's going to be so upset. If you remove him, we'll see more about it in a moment. So it comes out, according to Rameir, Chonyo was a younger brother. He was tricked by his older brother, and he was so upset he went and did over the Zor. Shmuel says no, the mice is a little different. So it was the opposite. Chonyo was supposed to be the one. He said, no, I'm not doing it. Shimi is older than me, he should be the Kohen Gadol. So Shimi becomes the Kohen Gadol. Chonyo, the young one, is jealous of his brother. He gave him the right. But it was cracked, it was hurting. So he does the same thing. Let me teach you the avodah. This is the younger brother to the older brother. He put in this leather clothing. He put in this belt. Put it next to his back. Look what he promised his wife, and he fulfilled. The day they become Kohen Gadol, I'm going to wear your clothing. So look what happened. So the brothers, the Kohanim, wanted to kill Shimi, the older brother. So he told them the whole story. You know what happened? My younger brother tricked me. So they came to kill the younger brother. Ratzibe ran from them. He ran away. He went to the king's house. It's him. Went to Mitzrayim, bought a Mizbeach. Ve'elov l'shem shamayim. Shem shamayim. Shene'amar b'yomu yeh Mizbeach l'Hashem b'torch Eretz Mitzrayim u'matzevo etzel gvulo l'Hashem. It lives l'shem shamayim. וכשמעו חכמים הדבר אמרו, מה זה שבורח ממנה כך, המבקש ירד לו אחר כך לכמה. Here, Chonyo gave up on the position willingly, but he still was jealous. So someone who's kicked out, of course, will be jealous. You have to be very careful not to remove someone from his position. And just one hour, I think this pashut comes out from me. I didn't see someone saying it. I'm sure there are ones to say it. That why in the first case it came over the Zara, and the second case not? Because according to Rameir, the guy was tricked. He was so upset. He was so angry in the whole situation. Chonyo, Shimi, the older brother, taught Chonyo, the younger brother, the avodah. He goes between us to do the avodah, and they come to kill him. So he goes in because of the Zara. In the second case, it was Chonyo's fault. Chonyo came to convince Shimi to do the avodah. Shimi tells the brother, guys, look, he tricked me. So Chonyo knew it was his fault. Chonyo understood that he was to blame for this whole story. So he ran away, but he didn't leave Yiddishkeit. He had less anger because the only one to be angry on is on himself. He's the one who drank the whole system. That may be the pshat in these two cases. That's what happened. So anyway, the Gemara brings over here this idea. The Shaila Machlekes is based on the Zohar and that depends on these two shittas, Rameir and Yehuda. And the Gemara alludes to the idea that someone who is a Rav, don't take it out. Because someone who never was there or didn't even give up on it, because someone was there, and that leads us to the next case. Tanyo, Omay B'Shub Prachil. So B'Shub Prachil says the following thing. It's very interesting. Rashi brings over here two girsahs. The first girsah, the Gemara tells us, B'Tchila Kol Ha'omer Alela Ani Koif Torif Torif Ne'ari. So the first pshat of Rashi is, he says that a person says, before he gives a carbon, I want to give an oilo, going back to our Mishnah, I tie him up, don't do Nidar. But then the Hemshach Gemara doesn't make sense. Fascinating. Taisus over here brings, there was Rav Klominus, who was the Rishon, that in the time of his Ptira, he gave, as he was dying, he gave 3 Gemaras. He says there's a corrected gears to 3 Gemaras, and it was Bipi and Nevuah. That's what Rashi says. And one of the Gemaras is this Gemara, and he said the Girsa is like the second Pshat of Rashi, and the way our Gemara has. So what's the Girsa? It says, before I became a Rav, Anybody who told me to become a Rav, I tie him up in front of a line. Now they became a Rav, anybody who tells me to leave, I'm going to put in him a hot boiling pot of water. Shari Shaul Baruchman, the Shaul ran away from the Malchus, but then when he became king, he went to kill David. Now, your Pashup Shad means that it's like, you don't want to become a Rav, you don't want to become a Baal Shora, but if you get it, nobody wants to leave the chair. That's Pashup Shad. But before I should say over here, just to mention the Maharal, more about it in the Shor Machshava, was already recorded, is that the Maharal says that it's really midah kedei midah. When a person is a Baal Shora, so he's very close to do a chait. Not for sure going to do a chait, but the temptation is very big. So that's why we put somebody next to a line. When you're next to a line, not necessarily the line will kill you, but it's very close to it. So that's why it's parallel. When you take someone from his duel and put him down, it hurts, like putting hot water on someone's head. So that's what just the parallel was not stam. But the Mepharshim pointed out the Chazal Sefer, brought the name of Chazal Sefer, and others. The pshat is that what he meant is, if someone is a chatzuf to the Rav, you should don't become a Rav. If you become, you have to hold on to cover the Torah and not allow people to just play around with it. What about the pasuk of Yehuda brought the Beis Choiner that it says that they're worshiping Hashem in Mitzrayim? So when you buy the Ketayni for the following, the Achar Apoloso Shel Sacherev Yotzo Chizkiyu Motzo Bnei Melochim Shir Yoshu B'Kodesh Shel Zov. After the Sancheiriv died with all his soldiers, comes Chizkiyu Melech and he finds Goyim, princes that are in Kodesh Shel Zov. He derived me the neder shaloi lavudas kachoim. They should never worship over the Zor. Shara b'yoyim yechamesh orim beret Mitzrayim medaber sfas Canaan. They speak the language of Canaan. They've confused them with on top. Finish boys la Hashem tzavokos. They swear in Hashem's name. Holchu laksan shemitzrayim bonu mizbeach ve'adu lo l'shem shamayim. They build the mizbeach l'shem Hashem. Shema b'yoyim mizbeach l'Hashem b'dar Mitzrayim. That's supposed to be mentioned before, and it's called Ira Heres Yom Elachas. One of them is called Ira Heres. My Ira Heres. What does it mean? Yom Elachad Kedav Tagam Yisrael Karto de Beit Shemesh. Beis Heres is called as Beis Shemesh. They all say the mikveh will be destroyed because the Maya says it's going. Itamor the Ichad Aminon. We might hear Heres Lisha the Shivsho. Why? How do you say? What do you see? Son by Heres. So the son is called Heres. Hey and Ches change, so Heres is Heres. It's also Lashon Harisa, so it will be destroyed. Continues the Gemara brings Agato Aviu Bonai Mirachoik Ubnoisai Miktzeh Haaretz. So Dash the Gemara Aviu Bonai Mirachoik Omar Avunei Legoler Shabovel Shedaitem Yeshiva Kebonim. Like men is more Yeshiva Das. So there are people coming from Babel, they're more calm. Ubnoisai Miktzeh Haaretz El Galuya Shashar Yotzois Shein Daisem Yeshiva Lesalem Kebonis. They're like women, they don't have Yeshiva Das, they're going to come as bonus. These are two cities, one in the east and one in the west. They know Am Yisrael and they know Hashem. Towards the west, they don't know. They don't know Hashem. That's clear that everybody knows Hashem. You call Shimi? They know there's a God, but they think there is someone in the middle, not direct to the God. That's what it is. And this comes out, the Rambam, and in the Hilchos Melachim, the censored Rambam, so many don't know it, that the Rambam brings and says why Kodesh Baruch Hu allowed Yoshke and Muhammad to be so successful, because says the Rambam, for them to be mefarsim Shem Hashem and the Goyim lahachin derech lamelech HaMashiach, to prepare the way for Melech HaMashiach. So we're waiting for everybody to know Hashem, and that's what they're doing. Says the Gemara, what does it mean everywhere? As if they're worshiping Kodesh Baruch Hu. What's that? Now you say, My bali lois, what's in the nights? When you create the chachoy moiski batoya balaylo, I don't tell you at night. My leva kosa kiilu asuki ba'avoid as if they're doing avoid. Lo ayilum zois leisrael hem shechah pasuk. Umavgidu ma'al ze mizbeach bonui umichol shta'agodol oimed umakriv al korban. So that's the oilum says there's always korbanos. We're up there in Shamayim. These are before Shabring. There's always going to be. There's always mizbeach. There's always avoida, even in the time of the korban. And they're learning the kachim as if he's saying this was built in their time. So it's Torah, so it's a Torah le'oilo, le'mincho, ve'lachatos, ve'la'asham. So the first thing explanation is you learn Torah as if you did korbanos. Should be Zayis Torah, oilo mincha chazasham. You do Torah, you do oilo. Ela marava koloisik, but Torah ain't a tzarich lo oilo v'lo mincha v'lo chatas lo yasham. Have to mean Zayis Torah le oilo in exchange of the oilo, in exchange of the mincha, exchange of the yasham. Hayitzu mai dichtiv Zayis Torah sechatos, the Zayis Torah sehosham, koloisik but Torah sechatos ki likiv chatos. The Zayis Torah, this is the Torah chatos. It is the chatos itself. Koloisik but Torah sehosham ki likiv hasham. It's as if he did hasham itself. Zog the Mishnah. Ne'amar be'oilo be'hemo, boys be'hemo ishir and choyach. By be'hemo it says ishir and choyach. It's a good smell. Uve'oilo soif ishir and choyach. Uve'mincho ishir and choyach. Odloi malecho. Chad amar be've, chad amami, tuvat shechaben libo l'shamayim. Doesn't matter if you bring a big animal, a small animal, or a bird, as long as you're doing Shem Shamayim. That's the last Mishnah of the Masechta. That's the Masechta ends. Oived Oived, so is over the Kishbochu. Doesn't matter if it's a me'at or a be, it's always musuk. You have more korbanos, there's more crying to eat it, but there's no benefit for the owner to do it. Tanya Rav Shimon ben Yazai Borek Pachti Pash Korbanos Shlo Yemar Bahem Lo Kel V'Lo Elokim Ela Hashem. It doesn't say different names of Kodesh Baruch Hu. The only name that's mentioned is Shem Hashem. The person should not say, oh, we're doing chatos for one, Oshim for another, chatos shom. We're doing everything in the Shem Shemayim. As long as you do the Shem Shemayim. Maybe you'll tell me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs the korbanos. If I'm hungry, I don't get to tell you. I have the whole world. I have all the animals in the world. I know all the birds. Another have the animal. I eat the flesh of the strong people. Don't do korbanos as if you're going to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give me a fair exchange. I'll give you something, you give me something back. To you, not for me. Shmuel doesn't need the korbanos. Do it ladas, meaning not to be misasik, not to have kavanah the right thing. You know, if you're not focused, you have to be misasik, you do it without knowing what you're doing. It's possible shenema v'shachas ben abokar, sheteshchitu l'shem ben bokar. I know this. I know it's also Ma'akev. Meaning has to be Ladas. So that's the idea of Namisasek. But the more ends over here, and we'll be Ma'arechani Beis Hashem in the Siyum, more this idea that Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't need our korbanos.
Yesterday you're only going to the Mishnah.
What?
Yesterday you're only going to
right, but then I said, well, so I can start from the last 3 lines. I don't need your korbanos. Korbanos is for you. For you. So this is where we are, and Be'ez Hashem, this we are about to finish Masechta. Tomorrow night will be the Siyum, and the next Masechta is Masechta Chuli. Be'ez Hashem, starting that on Shabbos, Kodesh, Be'ez Hashem, and Mazel Tov to all the Messiah.